الشهادة المحطوطة على الإنترنت عندك؟
للأمانة الشهادة مؤسسة بيه زينة، ولو دقعتها الساعة 5 الفجر ما تكشف نفسها وزينة.
فينا نشوفها؟
In the Gulf, women employed as domestic workers are being sold online via apps approved and provided by Google and Apple.
So today we're going to be talking about Raycissm and slavery practiced by the Arabs. A lot of people like to say that slavery is a thing of the past. Well, that's not true, because this is something that they still practice till this day and have been practicing for thousands of years now. From what I've gathered, it is literally a cultural thing. This is a topic that I have been wanting to talk about for a while now, and a lot of people have requested it, but I took my time to look into this topic, and here we are now finally talking about it. We focus a lot on white people, and we don't really talk about the Arabs. Not many people even know that there was once an Arab slave trade. We'll take our time and slowly get to it. This is going to be a bit long because I have some clips up that I want you guys to see. So
it's been called an online slave market. Our BBC News Arabic team posed as a husband and wife looking to buy a domestic worker in Kuwait.
Ready?
An app called For Sale is used to buy and sell domestic workers alongside cars and TVs.
This is not one of those cheat apps where you have to go through websites or alternative methods to get. They said in the beginning, the app has been approved by Google and Apple. There are guidelines, terms and conditions that an app needs to follow for said app to be available on the Play Store or App Store. So it's either Apple or Google is telling us that this app follows their guidelines, terms and conditions, or they don't care and or they are turning a blind eye to what exactly this app is being used for. Now, working with this quick image of the app we have from the documentary and knowing that the name of the app is For Sale, I decided to search for the app myself on the Play Store and on the App Store. On the Play Store, I found this app called For Sale Q8. And knowing that the documentary was talking about what was going on in Q8, I decided to download this app. But I really could not find out what was happening on this app because I could not get it set up because I don't have, the necessary phone number. I have a Nigerian phone number, so I could not get in using this For Sale Q8 app. And on the App Store, I found this app For Sale. And as you can see, when you compare the screenshot I have of the For Sale app on App Store with the For Sale app that was shown in the documentary, they both have similar writing in English and Arabic. Blurry, yes, but you see the similarities. I was able to access this For Sale app on my iPhone. It did not ask me to create any setup like the For Sale Q8 app asked me to. Yes, I saw the cars, watches, and appliances being sold on there, but I pretty much wasn't able to search for anything because I was typing in English and everything is being displayed in Arabic. So I made no headway in my own investigation trying to find them out in English when everything is being written in Arabic. Language barrier truly is a serious problem. Now, I'm not saying that this is the app. Can't say that for a fact because I don't know and I do not want to get sued by any app. All I'm saying is there is an app on the App Store that has the same name, For Sale, and similar Arabic write-up with the app For Sale that this documentary is talking about.
The BBC team spoke to 57 users of For Sale who were selling their domestic workers online for thousands of pounds. Most women had no knowledge they were being advertised online and then sold.
عندها فكرة أن هي حتنتقل على مكان تاني أو ما عندها مانع بالموضوع؟ ما قلت لها؟ ما عندها مشكلة. واحدة جاية تشتغل.
App users were violating national and international law on modern slavery, human trafficking and forced labour by selling these women. They were also denying domestic workers their basic human rights.
إجازة بتاخد إجازة؟ لا إحنا ككويتيين ما نخلي صراحة إحنا مجرمين.
أوكي. بالنسبة للموبايل وهيك؟
لا انسى موضوع الموبايل هذا ما أعتقد إنه يعني هذا من النوع اللي
A very familiar tactic. They are uneducated, they are uncivilized, they are barbaric, they are savages. They would say anything to justify why they have to treat a human being as less than a human being. In my opinion, there is no difference between the Arabs and white people. If you haven't looked into the Arab slave trade, you really should. They did some very heinous things, and they still do heinous things till this day, motivated by race.
فاهمني؟
يعني ما بدها تتكلم مع اهلها مثلا، اذا بتتكلم مع اهلها او كذا.
يمكن مع اهلها تعطيكم مرة في الشهر.
والقانون ايش بقول طيب؟
القانون احنا ما نمشي على.
It's not the only app being used to sell women online. The BBC found hundreds of domestic workers for sale on Saudi app ARABS and Facebook-owned Instagram.
كيف حالك أخي؟ إن شاء الله طيب.
The undercover team arranged to meet with some of the sellers in person.
إن شاء الله بخير. الله يسلمك.
One of them, who told us he was a policeman, urged our team to break the law by confiscating the domestic worker's passport and denying her any time off.
شو بسوي بالمرور شرطة والنعم والنعم. كيف الحال؟ السلام عليكم.
حياك. والله هذا خدامه.
اوكي.
صار تجي.
اوكي. انا اشوف انا اخلي الموضوع كله للحرمه، انا عشان كل هذا الموضوع عشان هي يعني
انا عندي ما قلت زينه رسينا عندي 1000 واحد يبي.
اوكي.
ولا طقتني اصلا طقوا. شو اسمه؟ شارع، احنا نناديها اسمها ما ادري شنو. راح نناديها، انت سوريا شنو انت سوريا؟
تجي زي اكيد لك.
وين قاعد تعطي هذا؟ مستحيل هذا عمره ما صارت حتى لو شيء. لا اخذ تليفون ولا طلع. باكر استغفر الله ترمت على واحد نام معاه ولا شيء. وهذه ساره. تعال.
ايش عربي؟
ويش
اي شوي ها.
تعال.
سلام. كيف حالك؟
تعالي قاعد. ما قاعد دخنوه ولا ما؟
دخن.
انا
دخن بدخن.
Our female undercover reporter stays inside with the domestic worker.
شو بسوي بالمرور شرطة والنعم.
فصل.
ايش الفرصة؟
برنامج دشيت امس. دير بالك منه.
استغربت منه على فكرة.
ب 600 يبيع حبل. ليش؟ انت هذه احنا بشر. انت قاعد تبيع قدامه. هذا بشر تبيع قاعد تساوم قاعد تساوم جواز ما تعطيه انت كفيلها. ليش تعطيه جواز؟ ما يصير.
والله ما بعرف انا مستغرب، انا بالنسبة لي بستغرب يعني هيك.
الجواز تخش عندك تجوري.
اوكي.
حق طباخ حق تنظيف حق كل شيء.
شو يا مدام؟
فضل تبيها تعطيني عربوك. هو انت تضطري انا والله داقين علي هذا نمرة واتساب وايد.
طيب يلا
شرفنا والله.
ما جالده؟
ايوه الحين بسم الله وين شنطتك؟ تبي تروح تسيد هذه؟ لا يلا شكرا جزيلا.
So they literally buy and sell people, and this has been going on for years now. The Arab slave trade never stopped, and it's unfortunate because these are people who leave their countries in search of jobs so they can earn money for their families. Majorly black African women are suffering at their hands, but to keep the stats correctly, they have Asian maids as well, and they go through the exact same thing.
Saudi Arabians are very racist. Them people do not mix with anyone but Saudi Arabians. So if you've ever decided to fall in love with a Saudi Arabian, you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to get married to her. That is just how it is. And it's not just Saudi Arabians. Those entire Gulf Arabs as well. If you don't believe me, try to do it yourself. You'll end up like this man, who ended up dying in the hands of his wife's family, simply for the fact that he was not technically Arab. He is Sudani. So they took it to their own hands and they ended up killing him. You really think that Saudi Arabians would mix with Africans? If they were, from back then till now, none of them would be mixed. The only times where a Saudi Arabian mix could happen is if the man is Saudi Arabian. The woman could be whatever the hell. But it'll never work the other way around. If it happens the other way around, then people are so racist, one of you guys is gonna die. So just know that fact. Habibi, even though everyone in the comment section knew exactly what I was talking about, and everyone knew how Saudi Arabians were racist, and you're over here still trying to deny it. Anyway, Habibi, here's another video on why Saudi Arabians are racist. Did you know that there are specific jobs in Saudi Arabia that are left for the people that are not Saudi Arabian? Jobs like butlers and janitors. Stuff that no one in Saudi Arabia would ever do. They would leave it for people of Filipinos and Indian descent. So you could clearly search this up. They don't give these type of jobs to Saudi Arabians because they see themselves as top, while they see everyone else on the bottom. Did you know that there are also jobs that are just for Saudi Arabians that could not be done by anyone else? While a Saudi Arabian can work whatever he wants and whatever he pleases, he leaves the dirty jobs for everyone else to worry about. Another example, a couple years ago, I had a friend of mine who was unalived by the Sudani government. It was backed up by the Saudi Arabian government. This man behind me, his name is Muhammad Hashim Matar, Allah yarhamu yusamhu. He was unalived by the Sudani government, who was backed up by Saudi Arabians. And because the Sudani people wanted to be known and wanted to raise awareness for his unaliving, they did something called Blue for Sudan, so people could know and raise awareness about what was happening in Sudan. Do you know what the Saudi Arabians did? They did something called Green for Saudi, which is very similar to All Lives Matter, to Black Lives Matter. So while you guys were mocking the unaliving of someone that was unalived in Sudan, and you really think I'm going to say you guys are good people, you guys are very racist. Just know that. Did you know that in Saudi Arabia as well, if you're standing in line as a person of color, you'd have absolutely no say and you just lost your line. So yeah, just know you guys are filthy, filthy, filthy people. Simply for the fact that you're not Saudi Arabian. They see you as nothing. So yeah, just know we all have family in Saudi Arabia. I've been to Saudi before. I've done Umrah. My dad has went there for Hajj. They treat us like we're $1 million just simply for the fact that we are from the United States. But the Sudani family that is right next to us will get nothing and will get no treatment. And when a Saudi Arabian sees us, the first thing that goes into their mind is monkey. They would call us slaves. They would call us drivers because apparently all the drivers in Saudi Arabia are African. So yeah, just know it is true and it is happening. Good day.
Now I'm going to put up some clips to show exactly what goes on in these Arabian households, what their maids go through, what they put their maids through. Fair warning, it's a bit graphic, so please prepare yourselves.
أباي مينونة تعالي.
That's fucked. One of the most shocking cases emerged in 2014 when a Sri Lankan maid returned from Saudi Arabia with 24 nails inside her body. The woman alleged that her Saudi employer had routine tortured her and drove nails into her body as punishment. Earlier this month, King Abdullah pardoned an Indonesian maid who was sentenced to death in 2003 after being convicted of witchcraft.
This video, which emerged on YouTube in early March, shows the moment Ethiopian migrant worker ARABS was dragged along a street in Beirut. Shortly after this footage was recorded, she was taken to hospital, where she apparently hung herself.
Looking into this case, I find that what is going on in these Arabic nations is not spoken of enough. And I think that's why a lot of people don't know, and that's why people continue to go, because who would deliberately walk themselves into a hell like this? And then they find out when it's too late, when they're already there, that this is exactly what the situation is. And by that time, it's too late, like I said, because they get their documents taken away from them. They can't travel. This Ethiopian woman had to run away to the embassy. All of a sudden, she's dead. Please tell me that nobody killed this woman. She clearly wanted to run away, and all of a sudden they found that she hanged herself. No, I don't believe that.
I know people who would see that and be like, well, you know, she should have listened to her master. It's one of the things that made me the most uncomfortable going back to Lebanon, where I'm from. Mm-hmm. And I always identified as very Lebanese. Mm. And I felt so attached to that identity. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I went there, I was like, oh man, I'm Canadian as fuck. I know that there's invisible shackles on your wrists right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's slavery. There's no other way around it.
If you hold people against their will, if you give them no ability to leave, if you withhold their pay, which is a lot of them are not being paid for the work that they're doing, if you physically and sexually abuse them and there's no repercussions for that abuse, then what would you call it other than slavery?
بصراحة على هذا القانون الجديد، هذه العقود الجديدة، أنا ما يبي خدمة في الدنيا.
while ago, this Kuwait influencer who goes by the name Sondos made headlines for complaining about the new law that was going to make domestic helpers have day offs. Yeah, how dare them need rest? How dare them have holidays and free time? They are not humans, they are maids.
خادم بالبيت ويكون جوازها عنده وين كان جوازها وراحت سافرت شلون مني عوضني.
For her to take a day off every week, that's 4 days a month. Those are the days that she'll be out. And we don't know what she'll be doing on those days with her passport on her. What do human rights have to do with the worker keeping her passport? Even our kids don't hold on to their passport.
A full-blown adult compared to a kid. If you have to hold on to anybody's passport, that means you are holding that person against their will. People should be able to decide whenever they want to leave a situation if they don't feel comfortable. If you have to hold on to someone's passport, that says a lot about what you are doing to that person, because why would the person want to run away if you are treating them well? You know fully well that you don't treat them well, you do not plan on treating them well. That's why you have to hold on to their passports.
And the few isolated Israelis who dared to protest, like this woman, were met with harsh backlash.
Isn't it ironic how the people who obviously should be ashamed of themselves for being so blatantly racist are the ones telling someone fighting against racism that she should be ashamed of herself? There truly has been a lot of inhumane activities being carried out by the Arabs and Middle Eastern people. This video has been a long one, but before we wrap it up, I would like to introduce you to a 25-year-old Kenyan woman who was burnt by her employer in Dubai. I would advise you brace yourself because some uncomfortable pictures are going to pop up.
My boss burnt me when I was working in her house as a maid. Please take a look at the pictures below. Well, my name is Mary and I'm from Kenya and I'm 25 years old. A few months ago I was working in this house where I almost died, but I thank God I'm alive.
I presently cannot put the whole video up, so I'm going to link the video down below in the description. Someone suggested I looked into her in the comment section of one of my videos. Close this video. What I'm going to say is very simple. While we can scream racism from now till tomorrow, it's not going to change anything. We as black people have a lot of work to do, because if we package ourselves, we'll have no need, no reason to want to go meet them for anything whatsoever, not even for a job. Yes, it would be nice if they are decent human beings and treat people like people, but since they've shown us that that's not something that they want to do, it's not in their nature, and they have absolutely no desire to see us as people, well, I say we move accordingly. When people show you who they are, believe them and stop trying to change them, because they won't change, obviously. Who doesn't know that hating people based on the color of their skin is bad? Everybody knows that, but they continue to perpetrate this hatred, promote it, and spread among themselves, and continue to keep it alive because that's what they want to do. They treat us unfairly because we go to meet them, but if we have ourselves put together and built up, we'll have no reason to meet them. This obviously is a very big topic. Even though this video is so long, there is still so much that we couldn't talk about and get to. But at least we've joined in raising awareness to exactly what's going on. I'm going to be leaving it right here, guys. Let me know down below in the comment section what your thoughts are, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
For Arabs who live in Kenya, I find it quite ridiculous because this is a black nation, really. But you'll still find a lot of racism within households. If you tell a typical Arab mom in Mombasa that you want to get married to a black person, I cannot begin. They would rather. I still remember this conversation. This woman was telling. Now, a friend of mine had that conversation back at home. She comes from an Arab family, and she would say, "And in my faith, you must get married to someone of your same faith. So the guy must be Muslim too. So that's what our faith asked us to do." When she went home and said she wanted to get married to a black Muslim brother, the mother said she would rather bring home a white non-Muslim. And I was like, hold up, Khalas.
For real?
Yeah, so racism is ridiculous, but no one wants to talk about it because you would rub off your mothers and your aunties really bad. So someone would tell you, I'm not racist, but if my mom would say no, that's it.